Howdy, folks. I'm Dear Brian.
I'm not dear Amber.
As you can see, I decided to bring back the filters, and I am a very creepy looking deer person. Hopefully, you enjoy this cartoonish monstrosity rendition of me. I think this one is absolutely hilarious in the respect that it's so far away from like me. I just look so weird. Let me know what you folks think of this one. So let's get started. Speaking of being a weird, am I a jerk for leaving my son outside on Christmas Eve night? That was the worst transition ever, but you're gonna be expecting more of those out of me. That's your Christmas present. Weird, awkward transitions. Merry Christmas? I don't know. Happy New Year. I have 4 children, and I'm pretty easygoing. I love how they start this. I'm easygoing, but I locked my son outside. They don't have a lot of rules to abide by. It's simple. Be respectful, do your chores, and for the two teenagers, 15 and 16, be back home before 10 p.m. My 16-year-old son came home at 11 last night when the house was already locked up after missing about 10 calls from me. He knocked to get in, and I just called him back and told him that he could sleep in the treehouse and that there were already blankets up there, and hopefully this would be his lesson to stick to the curfew. He was apparently on a date with someone who we have never met, as if that has any relevance in this situation, and didn't realize his phone was set an hour behind. To me, that's all excuses. I told him he had the rest of the night in the cubby to reset his time and we would see him in the morning. I opened the door at 6, nice and early, and he came in and went to bed. Slept until lunchtime, holding his siblings up from opening their gifts because we all do it together as a family. As a family. We all get punished together. He thanked everyone for his gifts and went back upstairs to sleep after lunch. My husband said I completely overreacted. It was an honest mistake, and he's exhausted from not being able to sleep in the treehouse. He would have been able to. It's warm enough, and I put enough bedding up there. Still, my husband says it was a complete jerk move. Am I the jerk? I don't know. What do you folks think? Is this person the jerk or not the jerk?
Jerk.
I think this was taking it a little far. I mean, I do understand that there needs to be like rules and boundaries and stuff like that for, teenagers. But I also think that why didn't he have his own key? Why does he not have any ability to get back into the house? And I mean, this just kind of is a little bit of a violation of trust in some respects on their part, I feel like. And I don't know. I think that, he's 16 years old. He's made a mistake. And yeah, I mean, maybe he won't ever do this again. But he also, I think, now knows that he can't, like, rely on you to help him when things get tough. And I think that that's kind of a shame here. I'm curious what folks have to say. I mean, maybe this is an adequate punishment, but I'm more inclined to say that this was probably not a adequate punishment, that this was kind of a little over the top. So yeah, anyhow, take care and good luck. So you locked your minor child outside in December on Christmas Eve. Had he called CPS on you, they'd have explained why this is wrong. That's a fair point. Agree that OP is the jerk for overkill punishment, but why didn't the kid's dad let him in instead of leaving him out there all night and then complaining to his wife the next day? That is actually a really good question. I maybe there's some information missing here. Maybe the dad didn't know that he was locked out. Maybe he already was in bed and asleep. OP, why don't your kids have keys to the house? I had a key to my parents' house since I was 13. I knew the rules for that and made sure that I locked the doors behind me. It sounds like you think your teens are trustworthy, so why wouldn't they have a key? If they're old enough to find their own accommodations for the night, aren't they old enough for a key? I think a lot of people here are upset, but failing to get to the root of the issue. Many of us grew up in a house where our parents' home was our home too. As kids, we helped with the chores and were given age appropriate freedoms. If you want your kids to see your house as just your house and not their home, that's your prerogative. But don't be surprised when they avoid coming back or don't want to contribute. If you've raised them to think that your house is their home, then you've got problems. How would you feel if your spouse locked you out for being home late and breaking your own rule? You dished out the consequences that might technically be fair to some, but failed to realize the message that you're sending out. By not giving them a key and locking them out, you're essentially telling them that they live in your house at your discretion and you can revoke that at any time. You're taking away the security of having a home. Also, if your area is so safe that he can sleep outside, why are you so concerned with locking up the house? All right, this is another disastrous story, so let's get into it. Am I a jerk for how I handled taking down the tree? So, my boyfriend hates Christmas. He doesn't like giving or receiving gifts or any of the festive traditions. We've been saying for 4 years, and he knows I love Christmas, so he plays along. Well, last night we agreed to take the tree down next week. But when I came downstairs today, he started taking everything down. His reasoning was that Christmas is over and the tree takes up space. Now, here's the thing, a lot of the ornaments that we have are like family heirlooms. Most of them are older or the same age as me, 24, or handmade by my deceased grandmother. My boyfriend just started tossing the ornaments on the table, which started stressing me out. I was telling him to stop and calm down, or either move and I'll put everything away. He was getting angry and started yelling at me because I was trying to keep the tree up, to which you both had agreed just the night before that you were going to take down next week. Well, you probably guessed it. He threw an ornament and broke it. He needs anger management.
Yeah.
It was one of my grandmother's handmade ones. Oh my goodness. I took one look and just broke down, like ugly crying. He started getting more mad, telling me that I'm being childish. Yeah, okay, OP's the one who's being childish when he's the one who literally threw an ornament across the room and broke it. Yeah, that's the definition of childishness. That I'm being childish and stupid for getting upset about the tree. I feel like I'm the jerk because I started yelling at him to step away from the tree because he was going to break more ornaments. And when he wouldn't and kept calling me childish, I kept yelling at him and telling him he was being a jerk. After he put everything away, he tried to talk to me, still telling me that I was being childish and stupid about the tree and ornament. I get how I might be childish, but I don't have memories of my grandmother. But I have a picture, and growing up, whenever I was sad, I would hug her and talk to her. I only have a small amount of jewelry or handmade ornaments or trinkets from her that are extremely special to me. So I don't know if I'm just being stupid and blowing things up. And things that blew up. And things blew up. Yeah. Edit, the ornament is fixable. It was a handmade clay wreath, and luckily the only part of the bow and the part that you hang on the tree broke off, which I can fix. To all of those showing concern, my boyfriend is never like this. He has always shown me, my belongings, and my family respect. He has no Christmas trauma, and despite not liking Christmas, he has always put effort into doing my Christmas tradition. That's the part why I was so confused on why I was a jerk, because this was so out of no normal for our relationship. He went upstairs for an hour, and when he came back, he apologized. He said he was getting stressed and frustrated about me yelling, and he wasn't being as careful as he should have because of it. He said it was really an accident and that he felt bad about breaking the ornament. I'm planning on having a discussion with him as the way he handled the situation wasn't right, and we'll see how things go. Well, this was a disaster and a mess wrapped in another mess. I don't know. I really have a hard time faulting OP in this situation. This was just completely uncalled for from her boyfriend. I mean, they had just talked the night before about putting away the tree to next week. I don't know if like that meant like he was expecting them to put it away Monday or something like that, or what exactly, but it made it sound like that OP had every intention of putting away the tree, and why her boyfriend would agree to putting the tree away next week, which is kind of a vague time frame, and then just immediately set into like a tirade of picking up the tree without even giving her a chance to do it, is just beyond me. This seems like a really unhealthy way of handling the situation. It seems like he has some some immaturity here. I don't know why you would agree to this and then suddenly be like really angry and upset and whatnot that your partner didn't in quotes do what they said they were going to do when you never even gave them a chance to do it. What was she supposed to do after your conversation last night? Go and pick up the tree immediately then and there? It just doesn't make any sense. And I think the way OP handled this situation was fine. I'm stressed and de-stressed just by reading it and how he's throwing around family heirloom ornaments. It's like, no, don't do that. I mean, I'm not the most Christmas or festive person, despite the fact that I have like a reindeer face right now. But I would never, ever, ever in a million years be like, oh yeah, this is stupid and dumb. Don't do this anymore. I like Christmas well enough. I just think there's some problematic aspects to it, right? So everyone's gonna be like, why aren't you wearing your Grinch hat, Brian? No, it's really not like that. So I don't blame OP for being stressed out here. I mean, I have ornaments from my grandmother, and if Amber started throwing them around like she's wont to do,
No, I would not throw your handmade. I'm the Christmas one.
I know. I'm just teasing. Uh, if Amber were to start tossing around my grandmother's, ornaments that she handmade, I would be very upset and distressed, even though, like, I'm not super into Christmas, but those are memories. So, yeah. Can't blame OP at all for getting mad and starting to yell about this situation. It is a kind of one of those, this is totally justified and called for situations. Anyhow, take care and good luck. I think you need to throw the boyfriend out rather than a tree. There's just no excuse for his behavior. Absolutely none. So don't let him gaslight you into thinking that you are somehow to blame here. For the sake of your Christmas spirit, your long-term happiness, and the safety of your precious ornament, get him out now. I am not saying this lightly, but a man who can be so callous with the things that you hold dear isn't someone you should want in your life. Not the jerk. If my partner broke an irreplaceable item after being told to stop, then told me I was being childish, they'd be dumped before they had a chance to finish their sentence. Go into a corner and think about what you've done, OP's boyfriend. Our next letter is titled, In the Spirit of Christmas Things That Happen in Reddit Over Christmas. Another great transition by Brian. Yours truly. Am I the jerk for getting a hotel room? My partner, a 30-year-old female, and I, a 30-year-old male, flew halfway across the country to visit her family for Christmas. I sustained a serious back injury at work at the end of September and have just recently started gaining mobility again after many painful months. They were aware of my injury, and we even expressed our concerns about traveling because of it. Her parents are very traditional and refuse to allow unmarried couples to sleep in the same bed or room, even though they've known that we've lived together and have visited our house in the past. Because of this, I was forced to sleep in the basement bedroom on a twin mattress that was at least 20 years old. I should also mention that I'm 6'3" and do not fit on a twin mattress at all. The first night was so incredibly painful and caused my entire right leg to go numb, and I essentially could not get sleep. We decided to get a hotel room, and after that, I could actually sleep on a decent mattress that didn't make my injury worse. When I explained this to my partner's mother, she insisted that I just needed time to adjust to the mattress in the basement, and that I was being ridiculous. Yeah, you're the one who's being ridiculous. I was firm but polite about it, and she seemed to be fine with it after that. Well, when it came time to head over to the hotel for the night, she freaked out. She apparently didn't know that my partner was also going to stay at the hotel. She told my partner that she, quote, didn't raise her like this. Like what? To support and spend time with your partner? And then just sulked in the living room when we packed our bags. Apparently, after she left, she spent the rest of the night crying. All I wanted to do was sleep in a bed that I could actually fit on and didn't cause active nerve pain in my leg. So am I the jerk here? Update, thanks to the kind wishes of everyone, we went back over to her parents this morning, and her mom wouldn't really speak to either of us, and was being incredibly passive-aggressive. We went ahead and left for the airport to catch the flight home. We are enjoying some much-needed time and rest at the airport and are looking forward to getting back home. All right, OP, I have a really, really hard time faulting you for wanting to spend time in a hotel. Like, you literally have an injury, and the mom was being like, "Oh yeah, that's no big deal. You don't have to worry about your injury. You just need time to adjust to the new bed." Which I think is absolutely absurd that she's trying to give you medical advice. Like, "Oh yeah, your numb leg, that's just fine. That's normal. Everyone who sleeps on that bed gets a numb leg." There might be something wrong with her mattress at that point in time. So, yeah, I don't blame you, OP. I think that this is absolutely absurd that she's like trying to dictate your medical condition, but then you get a hotel and she expects your partner to not sleep with you or support you in the hotel. Like, what was she expecting here? You two live together. You literally live together. So I don't know what she was expecting. I really do not. I don't think that this was unreasonable. And maybe it was up to, yeah, I mean, your partner decided that she wanted to spend time in the hotel room with you and that she would rather spend time in the hotel with you than at home. And I don't really think that that's a big deal. I think that that's fine. They respected your mom's wishes by not sleeping in the same bed as you. And this is what they get. Like, they can't have their cake and eat it too. Plain and simple. So, not the jerk, in my opinion. Take care and good luck. Not the jerk, you and your partner made a sensible decision. Your partner's mom is being over emotional and ridiculous. Indeed, she knows they live together. Her inability to accept that fact in this day and age is really sad, and frankly, not her business. Who are these people who cry all night and cry for days? I guarantee she pouted a bit and went to bed. Probably, probably. Oh, right. Our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for telling my father's partner that my kids will be calling her by her first name? Throwaway for obvious reasons. So, background. My 34-year-old mother. Oh, my 34-year-old mother. We're reading about a 6-year-old here, right? So, some background. I'm a 34-year-old male, and my mother passed away about 10 years ago after a long illness. My father, a 65-year-old male, began dating his girlfriend Rita, a 58-year-old female, about 9 years ago. I have an okay relationship with Rita. My father is happy with her, and that's all that matters. My wife and I had our first child about 8 months ago. Our daughter is their first grandchild. On the incident in question. So I was visiting my dad and Rita with my wife and daughter a few weeks before Christmas, and we got to talking about what the grandkids will call my father, as we will set a precedent for all any others that come after this. I suggested that we call my own grandfather Papa. My father said he didn't actually care about what his title was, he was just happy to have a granddaughter. Rita piped up that my idea was great, and she always preferred what we called my grandmother Nana. I looked to my wife as we had talked about this, and she agreed with me. I said we don't want to use that title for anyone other than my late mother. Even though she is not with us, she will still be my kid's Nana. That's how I'm going to refer to her. So I said to my kids, we'll probably just call you Rita. I could see from her face that she was upset by this. Also, her own children are a good decade or more younger than myself and my siblings, so her grandchildren are off for a while. She didn't say anything, but that day was very cool towards me, my wife, and daughter for the rest of the visit. I didn't mean to hurt her feelings, but her reaction has made me think that maybe I'm the jerk here. So, I do think that OP is a little bit of a jerk in this situation. I mean, I think that if she wants, for all intents and purposes, she's going to be your kid's grandmother. And I can understand why you wouldn't call Rita mom because you weren't raised with her. And that's perfectly fine. Like, I don't think she's ever going to expect for you to call her mom or anything like that. Calling her Rita is just fine, right? But I think that having some kind of title is fine. I don't think that that's going to, hurt you or impact you any. And I think that having your kids call her like grandma or something other than Nana is probably going to work really well. I think that could be a compromise. I think that I think she feels like you're excluding her from the family. And it seems like you are. It seems like you don't view her really as your family. But she's your father's wife, and I think it's important to acknowledge that she is in this position. And maybe someday they don't work out and they get divorced or something like that. But that isn't right now. And I mean, I think that even if that were the case, there's a good chance that if your kids know her from very young, that she's still going to view them as her grandchildren. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Unless you dislike her so much that you never want her in your life again, right? So, yeah, I think that with her being in this relationship for the long term and that she's going to be, in your children's life for the foreseeable future, there isn't anything unreasonable with her having a title. So, yeah, that's my opinion. But what do you folks think? Do you think that she shouldn't have a special title, or do you think that she's just being unreasonable here and demanding too much out of her stepchildren? Anyhow, take care and good luck. Why not pick a special name for Rita? If Nana is too personal, Rita isn't the only option. And OP replies, honestly, I feel like an idiot for not thinking of this sooner. Thank you. All right. Well, I think we have our answer here. So I think that this situation hopefully will be quickly resolved after that. It's good to see that OP just honestly didn't think of this as a solution to the problem. And maybe they'll all get along a little bit better from here on out. So yeah. Anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, consider giving me a like. And if you didn't, consider giving me a dislike. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know what you think of this Snapchat filter, if you like it, or if you think it just makes me look ultra creepy. You be the judge. Am I the jerk for creeping out my viewers? Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.